Welcome to Knowledge Nuggets. This is gonna blow your mind. Did you know that in Kentucky, it's illegal to marry the same man more than 3 times? It might sound crazy, but it's a real law, and it's not alone. Across the country, there are tons of outdated laws still on the books, from the bizarre to the absurd. These laws might seem funny, but some of them can land you in serious trouble if you're not careful. That's why today, we're diving deep into 10 things you didn't know were still illegal. Alright, first up, we're headed to Indiana, where it's illegal to sell cars on a Sunday. You heard that right, folks. Imagine strolling onto a car lot on a Sunday afternoon, ready to haggle for that sweet new ride, only to be turned away because, well, it's against the law. Apparently, back in the day, lawmakers wanted to make sure car salesmen had at least one day off a week to spend with their families. Now, I don't know about you, but I can think of a few other professions that deserve a mandatory Sunday fun day more than car salespeople. But hey, that's just me. Next up, we're whisking ourselves away to the Wild Wild West, or at least what used to be the Wild Wild West. In LaForce, Texas, it's against the law to publicly adjust your stockings if you're not wearing a $25 permit. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, back in the day, showing a little ankle was a serious offense. I mean, can you imagine getting slapped with a fine for simply adjusting your socks in public? And a $25 fine back then was probably like $1,000 today. What's even crazier is that this law is still technically on the books. So if you're ever in LaForce, Texas, and you feel that familiar tug of a loose sock, you better make sure you've got your permit handy. Hold your horses. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this next one's a real head-scratcher. We're moseying on down to South Carolina, where it's illegal to keep a horse in a bathtub. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who in their right mind would even attempt such a thing? Well, apparently, back in the day, it was a big enough problem that they had to make a law about it. I can only imagine the chaos that ensued. Maybe it was some kind of weird southern bathing ritual gone wrong, or perhaps people were just trying to find creative ways to keep cool in the summer heat. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. If you're ever in South Carolina and your horse needs a bath, you better stick to a hose. Now, let's talk about a law that's just plain ridiculous. In Blythe, California, you can't wear cowboy boots unless you own at least 2 cows. That's right, you heard me correctly. Apparently, in Blythe, cowboy boots are a symbol of status, and you're not allowed to rock those bad boys unless you've got the livestock to back it up. So, if you're planning a trip to Blythe and you're thinking about packing your favorite pair of cowboy boots, you better make sure you've got a couple of cows hanging out in the backyard, or at least a really good excuse. You won't believe this one. And now, for the grand finale, the most shocking, outdated law of them all. In Alabama, it's illegal to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket at any time. I'm not making this up. This law dates back to the early 1900s when horse theft was a major problem. Apparently, thieves would lure horses away from their owners with ice cream cones, using the cones as a sort of sweet, frozen bribe. So, the lawmakers in Alabama decided to put a stop to this dastardly practice by making it illegal to even carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket. Now, I don't know about you, but I find this whole situation hilarious. Imagine being arrested for the heinous crime of carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket. So there you have it, folks. 5 shockingly outdated laws that are still technically on the books today. From horses in bathtubs to ice cream cone conspiracies, we've covered it all. It's crazy to think that some of these laws are still enforceable, even though they seem completely absurd in today's world. It just goes to show that the legal system isn't always perfect, and that sometimes we're stuck with the remnants of outdated ways of thinking. That's why it's so important to be aware of the laws in your area, no matter how strange or outdated they may seem. You never know when you might accidentally run afoul of some obscure ordinance and end up with a hefty fine or even a night in the slammer. What do you think about these crazy laws? Let me know in the comments below which one you found the most surprising. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing content. If you're interested in more wacky and wild laws from around the world, let us know.